um, to the area that I had sent out to the chat yesterday. Right, we actually just missed kind of the area that we were looking at in here, just based off the 5 minute, 3 minute. Yesterday, we obviously didn't quite get up to there, and we ended up just breaking down prior to that, which was pretty clean. Um, Actually, let me update Jur. So Jur, if you guys took Jur, right, we partialed out, I believe, at like, where did we partial out at? Entries that I caught up were like at this black line, right? And really, what I was even playing here to kind of like show you guys, right? I was just really looking at the 4 hour, 1 hour. I was looking at the sweep of liquidity, right? And just 4 hour time frame as well. I was just looking to see ideally like a reaction out of this candle, just because we did have some equal lows, right, down below this area. But realistically, right, just kind of seeing how we actually took place. We got into, I caught ourselves around this area, right, and you can see that from that point we didn't really come back. My first TP I think was like um, just in this area. I know that on my broker it just missed TP1 by like 4 or 5 points. But obviously that's why we took partials. So realistically, like it would have been like a 1 to 10, 1 to 5, 1 to 10, depending on if you just partialed at this point or if you took TP a little bit lower at the bottom. But realistically, what I can see right now, even on the rest of the indices, because obviously that was JR30. JR30, I really only trade during London. Kind of taking a look at even Nas, this looks like we have equal lows. On the smaller time frame, it looks like we're distributing, right? It looks like really we're just gonna break down by the looks of it. Right. So ideally keep an eye out for Nas. I'm be personally kind of looking for a reaction out of this area, right? To see something potentially like that. Honestly, these lows get taken. What it does after that doesn't really matter to me. At a 5 minute, it looks like it broke to the upside, but on the 15 minute, it just looks like liquidity. It doesn't really look good. Like, unless we take this high right now and we break above within the next 15 minutes, then to me, Nas doesn't really look too optimal. Like I said, like you could typically find potential every day, but when you really look at it from the bigger picture, right, it's pretty stupid to just be taking trades like every day, especially when the market's like this. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I don't like to trade consolidation. So to me, anything that's within this box is just us adding on to the liquidity, right? Unless you're getting in at like the tip of the top, right? When liquidity is getting ran, if you're not getting in here, you're entering too late. You're entering in the middle of the range. And typically what's going to end up happening is your stop loss is going to get hit before we even make our way towards any of those areas. Looking at gold, I did want to see us I'll obviously come up here, right, into this area. I don't know if we're really gonna get that per se. We don't have to. This really just looked like this was beautiful. What happened yesterday with this sweep up, right? This was really that up thrust after distribution that we got. Um, right, for those of you that obviously are plugged in, right? The real difference between even just me being able to explain certain things, right? If you're someone who is obviously just brand new, like I said, there's a lot of things you have to unlearn. Like whatever way of trading that you were learning how to trade before is more than likely like garbage, right? And it more than likely contradicts what I'm gonna be teaching you, but simultaneously, right? It's being able to just read price action. So this is something that you guys are gonna learn how to just read better. It's just price action. A lot of times people will have areas marked up, but then their lack of being able to read price just doesn't allow them to invalidate or necessarily validate positions on a consistent basis. So just even based off of that, right? This right here, this makes the most sense. Our last institutional area, this to me was quote unquote like this just really filled, came back up to that area that we were looking at prior to prior to me calling out this area, this higher sell area. We were like filling this like 30-minute imbalance in this area. There's a 30-minute imbalance in here. And then just by the looks of it, looking at the 15-minute now, it looks like we actually did come in and fill some imbalance in here. So yeah, I really do like this area. Could see potentially trading in the next 30 minutes. It really wouldn't make sense to me at the beginning of the next 30 minutes to kind of see that. The sell limit has a TP off. What sell limit? What does TP mean by little off? I'm confused. You don't like risk to reward? You could. There you go. Out of like 30 people that see that, you're the only human being that said anything. No cap. So that risk reward would have been ugly, right? Instead of 1 to 17, it would have been negative 1 to 17. So there we go. All right. Appreciate that. I really sit in there like, what is wrong with it? You know those ones where someone tells you like, yo, like, where's Waldo? Can't find Waldo. It was like one of those ones. Because I was looking at both of these, right? So I wasn't completely wrong, right? Just realistically, this was the first area that I was looking at. So this is why, right? Obviously 1921, right here, right in this area, the area that we just missed, right? That's where we were looking initially. But realistically, like I said, we just missed it. And plays like that really upset me because when we just miss areas by like a few points, I'm really that type of person that like I won't even feel comfortable entering something until it hits my line. So when it does stuff like that, like it really just it rubs my feathers the wrong way. You guys catch my drift. I'm just playing. It don't really matter, but at the same time, it's just good to just see, right? Just when you could be disciplined, because at times that same discipline where you feel like it's against you, you really sit there and you learn like, wow, like that actually low-key saved me. So realistically, the way that I'm gonna break this down for you is this is the area that I'm looking at, right? And at the very minimum, right, to me, I'd want to see us come into at least hit that line. But realistically, in terms of the way that I like to play my candle, I don't really like to play the open. Like I will play it, but I'm not really playing anything too crazy off of it, just because I'm used to just seeing things like this. So realistically, right here, we have liquidity. What I typically always see with gold is something along the lines of this. We have that institutional area, so we have that quote unquote point of interest. And then right below, we'll kind of create another little point of interest. And what this little point of interest to me is just that liquidity, right? So that liquidity building up. So really have to look at it, right? We had equal lows here, right? Which you can see we just came and captured and took. But prior to us even coming down here and taking these lows, once we came into this little imbalance in here, we got a reaction, right? So what we're doing right now is everyone that bought yesterday, right? Everyone that bought during the holiday, everyone that bought late on Friday, they're now buying again. Why? Because their support is working, right? So people are buying and they're anticipating that prices is going to keep flying up to the moon. But realistically, like I said, price doesn't actually have to come right above there. But it's like at the same time, I see liquidity here. So it's not to say that we're not going to come up here still, because like I said, this is still overall the area that I want to see us come back to and tap. Do we have to come back up here? No. But what could I see? I could see an example of us actually sweeping above here, but still respecting structure. So by respecting structure, I mean that we don't get a close above this particular 30-minute area. Because what I anticipate, right? Like I said, I'm really looking at this from the 15-minute perspective as this was just really just that redistribution, right? To then continue to drive price lower. So really the way that I'm looking at it right now was this was that UTAD, like I said, to then have us continue lower. Right? If you're not familiar with UTADs, then you're probably not in the premium. That's really the only time that I'm really gonna go in depth with that is the premium mentorship. And by the way, family, right? For those of you that are not into the mentorship, right? Like I said, it's the last time that I'm opening it up to the public. Like literally, like if you're not paid, then you guys are not coming in no more. Because some of you guys, like I said, you guys are paying for subscriptions to other platforms, but you guys don't miss my calls whenever I drop the link. So you got to make it make sense, right? Go where you're getting value and stop sitting there and just being around people in places that are not helping you make money. Like if you've been part of a team, a trading team for more than 90 days and you haven't made a withdrawal, you're in the wrong place. Either those people don't know what they're doing or you're not getting the help and guidance that you need in order to get the results that you're looking for. Because I have people that come to me and get funded in less than 90 days. So you're telling me you can't even withdraw $10 out of your trading account, let alone pass a phase of a test. So really what I want you guys to understand, like I say, is make it make sense for yourself. Because like I said, some of you guys never miss my calls whenever I drop the link, but you guys you guys are not tapping in. So like I said, this is gonna be the last day. Like I said, I wanted to give people access, kind of see what's going on. But right now, like I said, I'm locking off mentorship. There's only 5 more spots left in the elite. I only have 1 more spot left in the premium, right? So definitely, like I said, if you guys still want to keep tapping in, because like I said, most people that live trade are not gonna sit here and like explain to you like just really what's happening in the markets and like how shit is breaking down. Because like I said, like all of this stuff, yeah, right now might not seem relative, but I guarantee you in the next like 24 hours, right, one of these areas is gonna get touched, right? One of these TPs is gonna get hit, right? And the risk to reward to have gotten to that point, like I said, would have been 1 to 17, 1 to 10 at least at the very minimum, right? So imagine being able to lose 9 out of 10 trades and 1 win actually has you profitable. That's what I call good trading. Right, so realistically, anywhere within this box would be valid. Like I said, this is really the sweet spot that I would look for, just because there's liquidity right here. I would look for a push above. Something like these. Right, so could see something like that. Like I said, I wouldn't really have like a 30-point stop loss. Like I just have my stop loss like up here, because hypothetically, like I said, like we could push anywhere into here, but if we push through this area, like I said, like you're not like I really wouldn't get in as soon as it comes into this area. Like I like to get in, to me, at the highest point, or I almost rather get in like late, like even for like Jur, for example. Like I wanted to sell even right now, low key. Alright, but anyways, yesterday's entry that I called out into the chat, right? I wanted to sell it realistically up here. So I was looking at it up here and I hesitated, right? So I hesitated literally right at this candle, because this candle I was like, damn, I can't even enter no more. So I hesitated there, right? And realistically, what I was waiting for was just some type of fill. So I wanted to see either us come back and tap the open of this candle. Instantly, I could see we created an insufficiency right there on the 3 minute. So I just wanted to see something along the lines of us bringing our way back up, right? Filling this type of price action. And once we actually came back up and got this sweep right here, this is where I called out the sell, right? So ideally, sell was called out here with stop above the high, right? And it's just really, really understanding, right, that ideally we had these lows, right, over here. This broker is different, because if I go to, pull up, I don't know, my Tradingview broker is weird. I need to go take a look at that. But basically, right, just looking at just the parameters, right, we achieved literally about like a 1 to 10, 1 to 11 before we reverse. And the thing about that is just how you're able to break even optimal. Like when you're right, like I said, like it's okay if you don't get in at the tippy top, right? Because even if you didn't get in, let's say when I called it out, let's say you got in a couple minutes later, right? Let's say you took 5 minutes too late. Let's say you were scared, whatever the case may be. Let's say you didn't enter in this area, but you entered in here. Like I said, the thing about these areas is that we should just literally keep falling till at least TP1, or at least to like a break even, like a 1 to 5, 1 to 6. To me, we should keep falling, right? And you can see that we literally just continue to melt from that point, right? And once we feel this imbalance, right, we fail to break this low. So once we fail to break that low, what you then look for is a smaller time frame break of structure, which realistically, in my eyes, like I guess you could say, quote, like technically, like if we close above this, like I guess, but to me, the break would have really happened here on the 3 minute, and then you can see we literally came back and tapped the open right after that, right in here. So we make a new higher high, push back down into this institutional area, right? We fill imbalance, we mitigate, and then we continue higher, right? So that's essentially what happened, right? And as of right now, it looks like it's gonna push slightly higher, just based off of what it looks like. And it looks like I was running my mouth too much. Miss Nas. Wow, Cash. You know, you're pretty good, Cash, but you also kind of suck, right? You also kind of suck for not paying attention. So yeah, Nas looks like it's gonna fall. It looks like we just missed it. 30 though. Like I said, I like to play the opens because it's volatile, but at the same time, like with the ranges that we're in, it's not ideal. But like I said, with the risk to reward, it just looks optimal. So truthfully, we could look for 30 cells, right? Look for 30 cells like right now. Could sell it. You could have either your stop right above this high right here, right? or you could have it above here. Realistically, I don't want to see lows get taken, but like I said, just based off of optimal risk to reward, like you could have your stop even something like this, right? So you could look to potentially short 30 right now as well. I like the way that, yeah, so we could look to short 30, right? I like the way that obviously price is playing out. Um, yeah, so 30 shorts. Ideally, you guys should be in, right? You could have like a 20, 30, 40 point stop loss, whatever you guys really feel comfortable with. Like I said, the stop loss really shouldn't matter. It should really just matter about obviously the risk. So 30 shorts, right, would be Gucci now. I said, yeah, Nas we just missed, so. Sorry, family, I'm currently managing positions as well. So beginning of this 5-minute candle, if you missed it, right, ideally, like I said, just any push up, stop above here would kind of be safe, right? If I were you, I really wouldn't put my full risk on in this area, right? If you missed it kind of from the box, but in my eyes, like I said, it looks good just based off of Nas. Like I said, the way that 30 opened, 30 has no wick to the bottom, which is like that first confirmation. Then on top of that, Nas really already took off, so it just looks like really 30 is the laggard. So really, right after this push down, in my eyes, we should be able to like break even, right, or move our stop loss ideally a little bit closer, right, to above this point. Because now that I'm seeing this reaction, like I said, I really wouldn't want to see us kind of like, I wouldn't want to see us just come up to here and not push higher into this area, if that makes sense. So I'd rather just take this small loss, right, as opposed to just holding it and having a bigger stop area. But you guys should be in profits right now. You guys sold a little late, 20 points or so. Right, so looks clean. For 30 TP1. TP1 in my eyes, I don't like this wick, so I would say a good TP1 would be these lows. So 31,294, right? So basically another 100 points or so. You could break even relatively like quick though. Like, to me, like, we shouldn't really come back up. But really, where I want to see us go is this TP2 area at 31,155. That's really where I'm looking right now. We're raking down nicely. Like I said, Nas already really broke down, so just kind of seeing, right, what takes place if we really, like, I really think that we're gonna take this liquidity. Like, I don't see us just filling this the way that we did and reversing. Like, we could, because Nas likes to really just. What I've noticed with these opens, because I've started to trade indices more. I didn't really trade indices a lot prior to the last couple of months. Is we'll really sweep both sides. So like at 9:30 open, for example, right? We spiked up, but then now obviously we're pushing down. So the way that I look at it from the perspective of now we have a lot of liquidity from right at this market open, right in here. So that's just something that I've been paying attention to, is to seeing market open. Sometimes we'll go to, like, we'll drop either straight down, right, or go straight up, and then we'll end up just reversing, taking that high, and then continuing after. But realistically, it looks good right now. Like I said, you could adjust your stop loss. You should be up 70 points, so you can adjust your stop loss to this high at 41,544. Right? Realistically, like I said, I'd rather get in late, like I said, than get in too early, because you can see this is exactly how you want to see the price react. Like, this is literally, like I said, this is the epitome of why you don't need to sit here and force trades, because if you sit here and you're really just patient, you can just catch 70 points in 2 seconds. Like, literally. All of 3-4 minutes, and right, price is running. So realistically, like I said, our TP1, realistically, you could partial now, right? 70 points, 80 points, but TP1 would be these equal lows right here. Beautiful, beautiful bounce, family. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bounce. Drop some dollar signs if you guys are in profit. What a beautiful way to start the week with the indices, family. You guys could most definitely break even now. Avoid any losses. Should be up almost 100 points, family. Right? This is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know, man. Hey, man. Say, man. Hey, man. Say, man. Good. I just secured some partials, family. I just personally broke even myself as well. I anticipate price to just continue to TP1, right? We're taking these lows beautifully, family. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I love that. Booming, right? So if you guys are in profits, like I said, you guys listen. If you guys are not in profits, I don't know how much more clear sell US30 needs to be. I'm an asshole. I know. I'm sorry, but look, I'm an asshole. But I'm convinced that you guys are assholes too, because you attract what you are. So like, some of you guys are just not assholes, but like some of you would consider it a savage, being a savage, right? So basically, from original parameters, right? Give or take, like I said, right now up about a 1 to 4, 1 to 5. If you really like just adjusted your stop loss right away, like I said, we're living right now, family. We're living. So like I said, right now, I would move my stop loss to break. Even if I were you, to avoid any losses, we're up over 110 points. Literally, family, that took 6 minutes. Took 9 minutes, family. 9 minutes to do what these other trash educators that be lying to you guys about results catch in a week, right? And we do it live. So that's the reason why I feel some type of way, because a lot of people can't do it live, right? There's 30 of you on here. Like I said, there's some of you that are not even part of the subscription, that just tune in every day. So you mean tell me you come in entries like this, just like I said, you catch them every day by the people that you're following? I doubt that, right? So this is really something that, to me, right, I don't even really think we need to look at anything else for the rest of the day, right? That personally, to me, should be sufficient enough. 100 points in literally 10 minutes. Like I said, I don't know why you guys are on the call if you guys are not taking the trade, to be honest, right? There's really no point in being on the call if you're not gonna press the button. Even if you're on a demo, like I said, you really shouldn't be part of my mentorship if you don't have at least an active funding challenge. So in terms of that, like I said, if you didn't take that trade, you probably weren't a student of mine, because I know the students were definitely eating. So in terms of that, family, like I said, this is really something where I want you guys to really put into perspective that